Well, let me go ahead and make them. Well, I can. But where I'm gonna put them on? Oh, we might got some here. Let me make this. While the sun is shining. Hopefully it'll stay up. That mud might slizz. Nope. You know how you just get finished eating. I'm telling myself, like, do I even want to do this? Okay. You ever try to drink something fast and it went all on your shirt? Yep. So that would do something right. Anywho, let me stay focused. Greetings. Let's get an honest source. I just made a quick post on something that I'm going to just elaborate on. Let's give an honest source to the Most High. To the ancestors known and unknown. Yeah. I got something in my beard, whatever. Hold on. I know what I can do. Nah, I thought that was gonna work. I could just hold it like this. Yeah, hey, boy, they saw, boy, God, look like what I went through or going through. Sheesh. So I had just posted something, and it was referencing how, like, it's funny, I told you, I be having my clarity, aha moments sitting on the toilet, or sometimes, like, when you deep into something, like, I do a lot of research. I vocalize a lot of things, and I realize, like, I do that, and I have done that since I was very young, and I communicate a lot of shit. I know. Shout out to those who out there who are the communicators. I also realized that I've been paying very close attention to my connections, to my relationships, and so forth. I do not want to hold that phone. You know what? I may have cracked it. Why I feel like that may fall. Why I feel like this may fall. If it fall, oh well. It may not. That's why I'm just an inventor, bro. I feel like a big ass kid smelling like it. Yeet. But where was I getting at? It's funny because I'm looking at a playground right now. But that ties into what I was talking about. It really hit me, bro. I've spoken about this before on another level of, like, how generationally, when I've talked about, like, war consciousness, or how most of the collective, depending on what they went through, and everyone ain't got traumas or deep traumatic experience or PTSD or whatever. But in the last 40, 50, 60 to 100 years, most of us have been subjected to, when the last time you seen a dude with locks with waves? Okay, stay focused. A lot of people have been in some type of deep programming, or subjected to some type of deep programming or grooming around childhood development. What I'm speaking on has a lot to do with the fact of, like, I've said before, like, how boomers, they didn't grow up in fun. And we have gotten, or no longer will, like, millenniums and people, because I'm like a bridge. I realize I'm a bridge to the generation after, like, and have to remind y'all that y'all not fun. Y'all not fun. Their luxury on a lot of things has nothing to do with fun. How many liquor stores, how many alcohol, how many spirit buildings, how many homes you have to build, the biggest this, the biggest that, the da who has this, and that shit doesn't reflect fun. And I don't mean just any fun. I'm not talking about organized fun, because when you look at sports and when you look at all this shit, and then when you see the deeper aspect of it, it's not rooted in innocence, authenticity. It's not rooted in genuine fun, bruh. Let me tell you what's so fucked up about it. I had to even tell someone I was dating, and then I was even reflecting while I was, on the toilet too. And I was like, one of my deal breakers in a lot of connections is people don't know how to fucking go out and have fun. I don't mean go out and drink and all like that. I'm talking about it's okay to do that. I'm talking about socializing, having fun. That's one thing I did do no matter what I've done, because I can tell you one thing. One thing I always found was a way to have fun. Now basketball was competitive, but then I had to learn how to have fun with it now, because you get to an age where, I tell these little young kids, hold on, player. Like, I make it real fun now, and I feel like that's what's not even in the sports now. They don't make it fun. When you look at a lot of the generation now, AAU, all this other stuff, it's so much has been exposed around gambling, betting, and all this stuff. You see the exposure on greed, and what's really so interesting about it is that it's revealing the hearts of men and people. It's revealing the hearts. It's revealing the hands, most importantly. It's revealing, most importantly, what people have done on the way up. I'm sitting here thinking about the fact of I went through a deep lesson, even more deeper lessons, like especially during the trends that I've told you about, like the Lilith and Scorpio aspect, or just a lot of these, Chiron and Aries. And, you can research this stuff. Just look it up. And just whether it connects or not, so what? Whether you believe in it, so what? To each their own. I'm not saying these things to be liked. I'm reminding those who eventually tap in and become aware to stop taking this shit so serious. I'm serious about protecting my innocence and then reminding people the importance of this shit, bro. Like, literally to remind y'all, like, yo, do you know the biggest, I feel like the greatest mission I can ever do or, like, recover right now has everything to do with when I be saying my innocence, that means something that was given to me, my essence, before anything have ever happened. When it comes to, like, life, or what I have, life, or just anything in general. You just imagine when you go somewhere and park, that somebody just has to find a way to just park anywhere near you. Like, yeah, go over there. Keep my aura, my everything divinely guided and protected. Whew. But just, like, the reason I say this is because, man, I've been reflecting and looking at the environments where kids don't even know how to have fun no more. We're seeing, or I've noticed that I've seen an influx in the mental health thing, because millennials, we're the ones to really talk about it. The first to even bring this shit to awareness, is because it's really concerning how much people don't know the importance of their well-being. And the reason why this shit is so vital, I always talk about the inner child, the childlike. Bro, like I'm telling someone I was dating, bro, it was hitting me hard. I'm like, damn, you don't know how to have fun, do you? A lot of people belief systems on fun stems from their childhood. I mean, stems from not only their childhood, but from a whole other parent or guardian. That when I look at them, and then they used to tell me this is what their dad do, this is what their mom do, and I'm like, That shit ain't fun. And then what ends up happening, there becomes a tug of war in the feminine masculine aspect, because what has really been lost through humanity is the sacredness on that, a part of that. The feminine and masculine energies are a sacred dance. It's like, and what I'm speaking about, it's that on a deeper level, what most of the collective, when it comes to women, are fighting for, they're trying to restore the voice, the inner child, the inner little girl, the things that was stripped and taken from her that we don't see as men. Do y'all need to say that shit again? They're not just fighting for their dignity and respect and so forth. They're fighting for their their self-expression, their self-esteem, their essence. That's what they're trying to restore. The feminine parts of them. And then they display it through their masculinity. Their voice that has been silenced for so long through the distorted patriarchal, and also through the unhealed matriarchal. The little girl that was silenced through religion, the little girl that was silenced through her honoring her ancestors or spirituality. Over time, do y'all not realize what's being reversed and the curses has been lifted, or just the suppression of emotions? And then, let me get to that with men. That's what most men are also trying to recover. I realized that with myself, because that feminine and masculine is intertwined. It's the same. Because the only difference is when women are trying to recover the inner voice within them, it's no difference than we're trying to restore, or through our unhealed nature as men, through the patriarchal, fucked up society, is to suppressed emotions. When I look at all of men, and I'm a representation of the collective, when I see what happens with a little boy young, I tell y'all all the time that we are literally mirrors. Feminine and masculine energies is mirrors. What I see, let's say a person in a relationship is fighting for, it's like, let's say someone who was SM, sexually, or SA, dealing with that. Very young, right? A part of her, that innocence was stripped. Let's say dealing with a woman, it was stripped. She didn't, that voice, there's a scream that you don't hear. Oh my God, I'm channeling this. I'm supposed to say this. Wow. That shit gave me, like, tears came to my eyes immediately. Like, y'all don't realize, like, there's after dealing with certain women, I realized I was able, and sometimes this happened through sexual exchange, because you're intertwining with someone spiritually. And you can pick up on things, because again, we think that we're so separate, but it's much more deeper when you're intertwining and having sex and exchanging energy and stuff like that. I realized with certain women that I did deal with at the time, they had a cry that only I could hear. They didn't believe that any other man could hear that but their father. Do you see how deep this goes? There's someone specific I knew that they went through something sexually. And for me, I felt like that was something that most men don't reach, is that the depths of realizing that the deeper you go into channeling your emotions, the deeper you'll be able to reach and know and exactly know why our women are the way they are and express the way they do. Because again, like I tell myself, every dynamic is different. But I heard a cry that this sister didn't even realize, like, I was able to tune into. And that's only because I was very much in tune with myself. But I also realized that my mother wound at that time, or the mother wound that I had, we literally mirror this back. We literally do the unhealed parts of ourselves. We literally mirror back this feminine, masculine energy that wants to, that's not so much crying out, but wants to be expressed. And when it's not controlled, it can come out whether in an aggressive way or whether in a flow state. Or let's say this, in a masculine way would be more structure. In a feminine way, it would be more flowing. So when you have men or in a patriarchal system that don't honor the flow of their emotions, most likely they're not gonna know how to structure their life. And I'm telling you from honesty, I had to get to a place where even connecting, meeting people, having children, I didn't know how to structure my life. I was so much in the flow state, I feared structured. I mean divine structured. Because I had to realize I was not only the I was, I was not only the destroyer of my life, because that feminine energy, the flow, when you look at water, it flows, but the current is so powerful that it can destroy everything in its path. But it also creates life. It creates newness. That flow is for a reason. What most of society has been in, especially with younger men, especially with men that don't have structure, or men, and it's not just the fact of homes where men were not there, because you can still have men there. I mean, look at society now. You have had men there, but they don't honor the feminine archetype. So in what they're building structurally, and it doesn't reflect and honor the feminine archetype, it still is a false I don't know, it was a new word coming to, pretense, or a false sense of empower, a false sense of structure. Because it's not, the feminine flow of things is in abundance. It flows and connects to all things. So when you see leadership and all these other shit that's in place, it doesn't reflect what some may call a divine masculine feminine archetype, because it doesn't supply every human being or every child or every mother. It doesn't resource every child and every mother. So a lot of you are going to realize you're a part of something that outwardly it may look like it's structured, but inwardly, when you look at a lot of these homes that were built, it's going to keep being even more prominent, because you can even see how at a point in time they built shit with stone and rock, things that were solid. But now you're seeing more gradually how they build shit with plywood or just throw stuff up. But even more so when you see old schools or old buildings, built to contain certain energy. It is built to try to control the flow, to try to manage the flow. But it's not created for the flow to continue. So the structure, imagine that. It's happening. This is why it's being exposed. So again, you can still have buildings over time that are built with brick, but the inside doesn't honor the flow of the feminine, because it's still built, the patriarchal still reflects what is going on inwardly. That's why so much shit happens in schools. That's why so much shit happens in homes. That's why I even realized, like, in a lot of these dynamics, what I've been in, as you rise more into honoring the flow state of your life, and then you have to find balance, the structure with that shit becomes very uncomfortable in relationships. It becomes very uncomfortable, because you no longer people please. You're no longer agreeing, because your life is going to become more structured in a different way that's unfamiliar to other people, to the natural eye, to the world. So I have to remind myself, what the fuck I'm building is structured different. That's what holding the blueprint is. If I'm honoring my flow, if I'm honoring my flow of resting, so ideas can come to me, so I can get up and build. But then I got to remind myself, not the way they told me how to try to build this shit. Because if I'm looking at what they're doing, I'm seeing that shit collapse inwardly, outwardly, because it's not the same structure. So why am I surprised with what's happening in the world and people? The generations before us, again, their structure, their blueprint is not my blueprint. I give gratitude because their blueprint is to show me how to build my own shit, how to build my own table, how to structure things. Because when I look at modern day men, I'm not the same as them. So my structure is going to be different. My flow is going to be different. You know how you rapping and shit? My flow going to be different. Ooh, my flow going to be different. Only very few can ride, now I ain't even going to say ride this wave. I have to know how to ride this wave first. This frequency first. And then whoever gets in alignment with that, come around the train, around, choo, choo. So yeah. So yeah, man, that's this shit is going on within us first. We over here thinking the battle is, I told y'all, we going away from this versus this versus it, bruh. The great divide first was with the feminine and masculine. Once they separated that, then that's when the powers that used to be try to use that as a representation of man and woman. And this is what's returning ancestrally, mentally, emotionally, and so forth. Your fucking you got a feminine, masculine aspect of your brain, your body, that has to operate together. Organs, organization, organizing. Like what? You think that atom over there, or you think that atom over there, you know, that atom and all that shit, say, oh, I ain't gonna work with this motherfucker today. You think that cell in your body say, you know what, I ain't gonna work with this motherfucker today. And guess what end up happening when that cell or certain things don't start to operate and do what it's supposed to do? Your fucking body gonna become imbalanced. It's gonna show you. What you think happened in the world? Why you think some people are here to come along? Because some people carry that original shit. That shit that don't need no seasoning shit. That organic shit. That cannot be duplicated shit. I don't need you to add no sauce to this. I am the sauce. Trying to get close, learn my ingredients. Goof ass folk. We gotta get close. We gotta learn these ingredients. Gotta see what's going on with them. We gotta learn these ingredients. What is it about them? What's this ingredients? Even the ones that got closest to me will never know the ingredients, G. That's what y'all gotta realize, folks. Nobody can be you better than you. This shit is amazing to me. I love it. So again, back to the boomer thing. Yo, like, what are we asking these people to do? Nothing. The same way they came along and built their shit, we have to build it too. That's it. The same way a generation or era before them collapsed and built, the same way it's doing now. What are we doing? What are we asking folks to do? No response is the response you need. Begging what? For what? I know it's certain, the family I came through, certain people, you get to that point, I already know not to call such and such. I already know what it's going to be. So guess what? You build it. You create it. That's what makes us so amazing. That's what makes us so, like, oh my gosh. I was going somewhere else with this shit too, because boy, I'm telling y'all. Oh yeah, that's what it was coming to. I went off on this, but the fun thing, I was telling y'all about this. Like, once you realize like how much you've been stripped, especially as younger women, oh my gosh, this shit really hit me. I'm like, you know what? Where are the people? Where the fuck are the people? Which I know this is a patience about life. It's like aligning with those who realize. What I realize, a lot of people have really, such as myself, have had to do and continue to do the shadow work or the inner work to realize like what this shit is really about. The reason why this is so important, I realized like, bro, when I say some people didn't know how to have fun, it really reflects their internal world. It really reflects what they really have went through. It really reflects how much they have been silenced in their lineage. When you are attacked by relatives or certain other people because you just, as a soul, as a spirit, as a human being, just want to be you, and it's attacked, it's ridiculed, it's outcasted, and you realize these fuckers have never grew up. Their child development, they literally haven't, their brain haven't processed past 7 or 8. For a lot of them. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Because they're still in that trauma. They're still in their trauma. And the only way they can cover it up is by doing what either the world does or what's familiar, tradition, and so forth. And then they'll keep reintroducing themselves to the experience. You hear what I'm saying? They'll keep reintroducing themselves to the experience consciously. That's what I realize. A lot of this spell of the shit that y'all been under, you will keep going to the family functions and don't even realize like the uncomfortability of those traumas and certain shit still surfacing after 20, 30 years. Even if someone died, you still never told your part. Your mama or somebody in the family still never said nothing. Your mama and father, somebody still brings around the verbal abuser, physical abuser, or, rapist. Still bring them around. As if nothing happened. And then you go on in life, let's say you have children, you do this and so forth, and guess what? You still don't know how to have fun. You still don't. I realized, like, bro, certain connections I was in, man, that shit, it will literally rob you of not only your essence, but that shit will pull you to a place you be like, what the fuck am I doing? I was telling myself, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker don't even know how to have fun. They're so caught up in tradition. They was caught up in worrying about this bill, worrying about this thing. And I know people say, like, what do you mean that's not important? It is important, but this not what the fuck you came here to do most of your life. Y'all don't realize these structures and shit preyed on your childhood woundings just so you can stay in a loop of depression, suppressing the emotion, repressing the shit over and over every time you connect with certain people. Feeling like you're walking on eggshells whole time. And I'm realizing this even when people have children together or have in the past. Do you not realize like how deep that shit goes when you're talking about child development, bro? When you could have gotten into a connection with someone who really don't know how to have fun, who really don't know how to lead their life without their mother and father being involved. That's why I be telling y'all about the enmeshment shit. That shit's so deep. I be looking at a lot of artists. I be looking at a lot of people, and people, due to the illusion of tradition, y'all would think like, oh, it's so great that they have their mother and father around. But bro, you don't know the behind the scenes about that. How somebody's mom is always in the picture, someone's dad or somebody's always in the picture when it comes to shit like dealing with enmeshment, emotional incest. How so addictive and obsessive they are with their children's life. And it has a lot to do with trauma because they never have fun. Never. I see it on a lot of celebrities. I see it on a lot of people, bro. I be seeing the energy collected. I be like, fuck. These people really do need support. They've never had... Bro, I don't care how they dress it up in the media and all this shit. Folks really... When I look at their life, I'm like, oh my God. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care what type of status they hide behind. Man, all this shit is a joke and a hoax, bruh. Y'all really don't know how to have fun. You take certain shit out of people's hands, you take stuff away from people, they don't know how to build shit. They don't know how to structure shit. They don't know how to do nothing. That's why blackouts happen, certain natural disasters and shit. And I realized this is why I realized why the origins of all this shit is melanated people, scientifically speaking as well. It's because, bro, if I've seen anybody that has survived shit and got through shit and not take it serious, it's us. It's us. We gonna dance through some shit. We gonna laugh through some shit. And the funny thing about it, eons or eras ago, whatever the fuck you want to call it, people of different shade did this shit. And I realize a lot of us are here to bring that into existence. Without it being about ego and competitive, who's the best dancer, boy, they don't strip so much innocence out of shit because it's showing you what it was not built on. A lot of this shit was not built on genuine fun and innocence. Telling y'all, bro, a lot of this shit was never built on that. And here y'all is trying to hold on. The only ones really trying to hold on to this shit is these fucking boomers. I don't care for to hold on to a lot of this shit, bro, because I'm sitting here trying to recover my innocence, bro. What I mean by that, it's like something that cannot be bought. Do you not realize your spirit, the body keeps a score of the receipts of what you went through your childhood? Like if you sit there and think deeply and you think about your mother and father, I was sitting here like, fuck, bro. When I was sitting here talking about empathy the other day, I didn't even want to, but I had to have empathy for my partner, for my mother, even for my daughter, because when I look at my daughter, I'm like, damn, to have empathy for her is to have empathy for all women. Fuck, I didn't want to. You hear what I said? I didn't want to, but deep down in me, I need to. And that's where a lot of you, your heart can change when you realize, like, you will go from stop looking at it just one-sided to see the two-sided coin. That's why we believe that's why the world has convinced y'all to believe one side of a story first before you get the other side. Y'all don't know what the fuck don't happen. Y'all just attach unhealthily to stories and shit like that because that's what it has been for so long. That's what keeps the algorithm going. That's what keeps the dysfunction fucking flowing. The dysfunctional structure. It ain't shit structured about it. I love what I do, bro. Cause I'm collapsing shit by using my throat chakra, shatter all fucking illusion. Imagine shit just ripping. Just bitch, fuck this contract. With you, with everybody else, fuck this contract. Even with myself, man, this bitch is void. This contract is void like a motherfucker. Void, failed contract. Y'all haven't accepted that in y'all soul and y'all spirit. If the government, I don't even know what the government is. It's like to think about shit now. It's funny. When I look at a lot of stuff, man, you know what? I'll go back to my childhood, go within myself. I say, you know what? Renounce. What is it? How do they say that? Denounce or renounce this fucking contract or dispel it. When I was in my childhood with my mom and all, like, void. Because that's how you got to write shit off. Shit that don't happen throughout your life, you got to be like, you know what? I got to accept that this fucking contract has ended. This is a failed contract. Y'all don't see when, I don't want to go into that, but God, that's going to be good. God, it's going to be good, boy. Gratitude. But anyway, like I said, like, when you gonna erase or delete the contract of pretending that your ass having fun in life? Man, I'm trying to tell you, I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, bro. The reason why this is so important because once you get back into the innocence, you'll feel safe again. I started to realize a lot of motherfuckers ain't safe, G. They're not safe, love. And it ain't just about myself because I've always been a gentle being. I've always been a loving person. And some people feel like that's a curse. No, the fuck it ain't. It's not. My love keeps shits afloat. My love is anchored. That's how deep my love goes for me. And that's what it was. I had to realize, like, my love was so deep. It's a love that's not of this fucking world. So it makes sense why some people hate it. Some people can't grasp it. Some people despise it. Spirits despise it. Entities, certain shit despise it. It just, oh gosh, I hate that he loves himself. Fuck, how does he get up and do it? Oh my God, look at him. How could he cut his own hair? How could he do his own hair? How could he present himself? How could he still come up here and make these videos? You gotta be it's a thin line between love and hate. You gotta be shit. Because when I look in this fucking video and I look at myself, I still see that little boy. I don't care how many hairs I got on my face. I don't care how much this look. I still see that little boy. Not only visually, but in here. But you know what? That shit brought up something for me when people who even do drugs or go through substance abuse and stuff, when they look in the mirror, they don't recognize that person. That shit is deep. But you know what I feel like can really deliver them or cleanse them spiritually and like emotionally and so forth? I always talk about Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian prayer that is very sacred and important because it brings in, it implements like the importance of holding, or like if you have a picture of your little self, and how you apologize to yourself, you say you love yourself and so forth. It's like 3 or 4 different things, or I believe it's 4. And what this does is that it brings us this shame and guilt up around how you have pushed shit down in a way. You see, that's the only thing what society has done, bruh. You keep going out there, keep doing things to pretend like shit is okay when it's not. I am not finna be one of those men that continue to suppress what the fuck I feel. For what? That's not normal to suppress it. They keep repressing it. They keep pushing it down. It's not normal. That's why I can cry on the drop of a dime. It makes me think about actors and shit. Y'all be surprised, bro. We are just aware and just as tapped in. See, the whole bullshit of illusion and secret of Hollywood and all these other places, they want to make it seem like they've had it for so long. Your ass had it. You just been putting your energy towards shit and don't realize some of y'all are the greatest actors and actresses because you know how to mask it better, but you don't know how to be better for you first. You know how to mask it better, but you don't know how to, like, do you not realize how amazing it is to master yourself, to master your emotions, where I can sit here and channel energy or channel something and cry without fucking faking it? What do you think has been happening on the world stage? That's why all this shit is collapsing. That's why everything is so clear. Everything is so clear. It'll scare people. What is there to be scared of, though? This is why the source looks at all of us as children. I look at some of these people of certain status, celebrity, whatever it is, who proclaim, like I said, I don't know them to have millions and billions. I don't give a fuck. I got spiritual currency. I don't need to say what I have, because there's no limitation on that. My self-expression. There's no limitation. I can make 1,000 and 1,000,000 faces right now. There's no limitations on that. Fuck it. I love myself, bro. It's so fucking fun. Because, man, I'm trying to tell you, that's why I say I can look at those people and I'd be sitting there picking up on the energy. Y'all got to realize this is why it pays to be so childlike. This is why it's so amazing to be so childlike. And what I mean by that, the self-expression, like when you see children, they don't hold back. They so fucking blunt. They so authentic. They don't say shit y'all afraid to say because it's who they are. That's who we are. Y'all the ones that cannot be trusted and have gotten away from that. But that's my superpower. I'm a superhero. And ain't nobody gonna make me feel guilty about feeling like I'm amazing. I'm phenomenal. I love myself. What the fuck? No, you weirdos want children to model after y'all. You don't have empathy, so now you're gonna want empathy and sympathy. I told y'all the curtain is closed. All these goofies, all these niggas goofies been on the stage in their little human suits, whatever the fuck you wanna call it. Bro, it's finitos, adios. Signed, sealed, delivered. Your message was already sent to the masses. Get your ass on. It's a wrap. Them distractions, it's a wrap. We want to have fun again. We getting through this healing and shadow work and doing this shit within us to realize what was keeping us from self-expression, from our soul's expression, from authenticity. Who gives a fuck if somebody talk about my teeth? I got them. Give a fuck if they quit walking. Who gives a fuck about somebody? I had to tell somebody the other day. I was like, this is why I don't even, relationships? What the? I feel like that was one of the biggest things that'd be a distraction too. We wasn't as attached like this as children, young. We wasn't attached to shit like that. Well, some of us. We'll meet people on the school, at the park and stuff, have fun, da-da-da, go home, da-da-da. I feel like that's what fucked us all up a lot at the house. At the house. That's what fucked a lot of us up. Being around some of these people, again, who don't know how to honor self-expression, the flow of life. I'm trying to tell you, the dealing with the women that let's be real, they fucking feminine flow is fucked up. It's corrupted. And what makes you think, when I mean feminine flow, their flow of life and how they structure life. Look at their structure. I'm not perfect, but I'm saying this shit. Look at the structure. That's why certain women I will stay the fuck away from. Bruh. Relationships, past lives, people in the past, stay clear from me. Stay over there. You know how kids be like, no. I'm gonna learn other languages and say no, I be like, no. Start making a kid face, no. And when I started to realize this, bro, I'm starting to realize, like, damn, when you're not around people growing up that have self-expression, this is why we're so animated, bro. You think people that created cartoons and shit, and people that have vivid imaginations and brilliance and shit like that created some shit? You think that there wasn't tapped into their inner child? Y'all, I feel like I already know I'm finna make some of the most grandest shit the world has never seen, bro. Because once you start tapping into the inner child and you start going to them dark places of yourself where you experience this shit at that house at 5, and then you thought that little boy or girl was gone, and the whole time you had to go back and get his hand and remove his ass from the house, or go in there and cry with him and sit with him and hug him and so forth. I'm giving y'all a visual of this shit. You have to learn to be empathetic for your inner child first before you can think you can be empathetic for somebody else. And that's why I realized why so many relationships fail. Because a lot of us don't know, our inner childs don't, like, I realized this is why a lot of my relationships didn't last with people. I know I'm gentle at heart. And then I started to realize, like, fuck, this person, they don't even know how to express themselves authentically, like unapologetically. They don't even know how to let their little boy and girl be themselves. And if they have, it's limited. It has been silenced. Their little boy and girl within them, for some of them, even if they haven't, even in adult trauma, it still affects that little boy and girl that has been within them until adulthood. And what has happened, I realized this, how you realize, like, people don't know how to be themselves. They're only being what they know how to be what has happened to them. And that's all. Damn, that's deep. I love this shit, bro. I really realized, I started to accept more and more how more of these messages are going to reach so many hundreds and millions and billions of people, bro. Fuck, I love this shit. I'm not afraid. I used to be afraid. And then I became fearless like a child again. My inner child was like, fuck this shit. We gonna run through this motherfucker like live. Live, bro. That's all I realized, like when I put on clothes, like self-expression when I was young, fashion and shit, all that shit is a self-expression of art. Like cutting my hair, doing certain shit, it's an expression. It's how I want to structure myself. And then when your feminine flows changes as you evolve, your outer expression is going to change. I don't supposed to look the same all the time. But I realized that, bro, I'm like, if I looked at communities, I look at the fact of like, if you go in every one house, no one house is the fucking same. But every house inwardly probably most likely reflects some type of childhood development. I seen that shit growing up when I start to, I'm telling you, bro, this is not an attack on family members that I know or people that I know. And that's gonna lead me to what I was about to talk to my mom, like how I had more empathy for myself and other people. It's like, fuck, bro. I was like, I was sitting here like, damn, bro, like, whoa, bro, like, I was sitting here like, knowing that, some relatives of mine, like, had went through some shit. And, I realized how their mother lived growing up, because I was a child. And I really started to realize, like, damn, bro, like, a lot of folk was so, they, damn, I get more clear this shit as I start talking about shit. I always watch my surroundings. I don't be knowing people. I see people, I always watch my surroundings. But again, this is my thing about, like, what I realized, like, how much, what I'm called to do when I had to do this shit unapologetically. It's like, when you realize looking at the root chakra, like survival and shit, I realize a lot of people do shit out of survival. This gets me into like gang culture, like drugs and shit like that. And I just see the mastery in studying your opposition or learning people. And I forgot which 48 laws of power it is when it was talking about how you have to do everything, you know, to destroy. It's something about the enemy or your enemy, like do everything in your power. Or they'll try to like come and return and like make sure that they take you out or do something. And that got me to believe in, like, even when it comes to like certain shit in life with people, how things come back full circle. Now, I'm not trying to do no fear-mongering shit. It's to show like perspective on life. Like, even with that, it's like how I call out stuff. Like, I never was the one that honored motherfuckers who, like, I'm gonna tell you, I almost fought a nigga in school, well, in my neighborhood, because even though I knew I didn't want to accept my mom doing drugs very young, even though I had knowledge of it, somehow I still always had empathy for that woman. Or I was so quick to protect the fact that, why would you get that to my mother type shit. But then I almost fought the dude because he denied it, because that's how angry I was when it got back to me that he was, you know, what we call serving her. And I approached him, but then somebody protected me, but he lied about it. But it's so funny how his lie ended up catching up with him to where he was selling drugs for so long to where he got so greedy in it to where it destroyed his own life, to where he gave someone a dosage of something. You know how they say too much of something, you know, if you don't know how to structure it, balance it, it can destroy you or lead to a path of self-destruction. So what ends up happening is that he ended up like giving something to someone, and they end up overdosing, and karma returned to him in that way, to where, you know, I believe he's serving I don't know if it's life or serving some type of sentence. So in prison. But I say that to say this, is just like, you're not gonna ever hear me talk about honoring niggas who, it just never made sense to me to see people go out there and serve other people's mothers and so forth and say and try to make it make sense how they wanted to be the big dog or looked at, again, I call it false empowerment, as a big dog in the hood and so forth, and never really give the truth about the consequences from it. And now you're seeing it finally come to a head when people are denouncing or renouncing the streets or whatever, street culture. And at a time when it was paying people millions, or how people were artists who were getting paid to push the shit in another way, they're not exempt. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I know who watched me. I don't give a fuck. But they're too not, it can hit them differently, but let me tell y'all something. They're too are held accountable. It's the energy you put out there. No one is exempt from this shit. Because your karma could be in a way when the spirits come to collect, it's for the people to forget about you in totality. To make sure you not to make another dollar off destroying yourself and everything around you. Because ain't no way you can tell me that you didn't have some type of awareness around what you were doing. It just shows a lack of empathy you fucking have for yourself and those mothers, knowing that those mothers and all those people that you did serve to, the effects that you will see, and then you call it trying to make a living or doing this and do that. Listen, I'm just looking at it the fact that from my perspective, I chose not to do the shit. I had opportunities, plenty, and probably still, because of the fact of the desperation of the spirit or the greed and so forth. And so it's like, that's how I look at, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his own soul? Y'all are looking at people who are soulless. When they don't have empathy, ain't no light within them, ain't no love within them. It's not the darkness is not what people perceive as horrible or bad or evil. It's just the fact that they don't have no balance. They don't have no structure in that shit. And it shows every person I knew that got involved with that shit, they either, no matter how much they structured it, even going to the root of where the drugs even came from to even be implemented in the first place, it was no structure. It was the intention to destroy, and we still fucking here. You looking at probably a crack baby. You looking at probably somebody whether I'm not a crack baby or not, I know the smell. I'm familiar with it. I know the experience of going to, with my grandmother to go pick my mama up at a crack house. I know people mama. Is it still recording? Yes, it is. And the show must go on. I had a position so funny. But anywho, I know people who moms and shit like that were a part of stuff like that. I also didn't know people who hit it very fucking well. Like, y'all don't even realize that, bro. People who you will never see. And that don't mean they the same shade either. All I'm saying is this. Y'all also forgetting that a lot of these boomers were a part of that orchestration. Or orchestrating shit like that, the destruction of indigenous people. How are they no different? How are they exempt? They built their same structure off self-hatred. It's just no different than hatred you gotta have to fucking put some shit in an environment and community and sit back and watch a people turn on themselves. To collapse in on themselves, to do certain shit. Come on, bro. Y'all gotta, come on. I'm giving you some shit that make you think and be self-sufficient. To be self-reliant, to realize, like, this is a turning point. This is the split. This is the split right now. Whether you like it or not. You don't have to accept it. Whether people say they were a part of, I wasn't a part of, you You lived through it. How the fuck you wasn't a part of it? Your silence said everything. Ain't nobody exempt. Y'all been holding these people's hands. Y'all protect the predators, but you won't protect the motherfuckers who abuse their power spiritually in the music too? You're not exempt either. None of them are exempt. Out with the old, in with the new. You got a problem with it? Change the equation. Because basically, when a motherfucker's silent and they don't have no empathy for you, they're not willing to put themselves where you are, they basically saying they don't give a fuck. You figure it out for yourself. So that's what's happening right now. Y'all don't realize, y'all trying to drag other people along. And basically, this motherfucker saying, hey, you go figure it out. But then once you figure it out, they're going to be the same ones want to come and eat at your table. Don't realize it was orchestrated like this. You figured out. You get out. You figure it out. You don't got to be here. You do this. You do that. It's just like what happened in family structures. You get out. You don't want to do this here. You can do that. You can go. Say less. This new earth, this new world, this new way of things, this shit got boundaries. This shit is going to be structured differently. Completely differently. I got to realize, like, the distorted feminine, the distorted mother has just been going with the flow. And then complain about the structures in place. That's why I'm so grateful for so many that are coming into divine insight and clarity about what's really going on. Cause y'all gonna realize like how much what they call fun was not fun at all. And it's look at the word fun and funny. Now the shit ain't funny no more. Once you start to realize your traumas and what you went through it's deeper than you thought it was. Oh, you thought it was funny. You know, some of y'all thought it was funny to let such and such come around and he was 28 and your ass sitting here 14, 15 in your high school. Y'all thought it was funny. Now some of these women now talking stories. I forgot that rapper. You know, now that shit was deep when she was like, she realized like she had kids by a predator. That's how deep this shit goes. Made me think about people I know. No, but y'all, it ain't funny no more, ain't it? It ain't no fun when the rapper got the gun. Cause I'm not here, I represent the millennium, bro. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. I'm not here to, man, I am the Phoenix. I'm a part of setting this shit ablaze. And sit back eating and sitting back. I'm gonna be sitting back on a fucking resort, chilling. And not damn motherfucker gonna touch me spiritually or physically. Sitting and relaxing. In alignment. That's what I'm gonna be doing. In alignment. Not try to conform, sit. And then what's gonna end up happening for a lot of us, you can probably get an email, hey, could you come, we'll offer you whatever, could you please, like, we need your support. We need your support. Some people never say you're right because it ain't about being right. This shit is about alignment. This shit is about what's ushering in. The bigger picture, this shit is about our children walking across a bridge that I ain't finna fucking burn because I'm not living in my authenticity. No, some of y'all generations before, you burn the fucking bridge, knowing you can't swim across. Some of us, a lot of us, through the unconscious patterns or learned behavior, doing exactly what our mothers and fathers were doing. And this is why some of y'all think y'all gonna double back on people. Man, stay where your ass at. Stay where you at. You showed me. Stay where you at. You showed me. Only folks that's exempt is children almost at this point. Cause I told you, I know who be watching me. I know a lot of people watch me. And the funny thing about a lot of this is that it's okay for you not to support. And I am aware of those who are willing and are even energetic giving support. But I'm very much clear in this 9 year of who the fuck, who is who. And that's the problem. Our people pleasing ass generation before us, not all, but the people pleasing ass ones before us, who are sellouts and want to do things for money. Now you got to leave this world with no fucking dignity, no self-respect, no nothing. False ass prophets, fake ass people, inauthentic. Come on, bruh. Y'all not fooling nobody. This shit be so comical to me. Cause y'all not for the kids. You still preaching that same fucking message, and it really ain't liberating to the children, like spirit. It ain't pouring into them spiritually and so forth, and or the women. You are a false prophet. You're just trying to. You're a representation of false empowerment. It ain't even the false prophet aspect. You're trying to. That's what you're doing. You're profiting falsely, siphoning people energy. That's what a lot of you are. Fake ass spiritual gurus and all this other shit. I ain't proclaimed to be shit. I don't need a title when your self-expression is just who you're supposed to be. I was given a name, and my name hold power. So if you ever want to research it, research the name. It's a power in being who you are. Only ones that were attacked is a motherfucker who don't know who they are, who don't walk in their purpose, who are not discerning, who don't love themselves. A lot of y'all out of touch, not just with reality, you out of touch with your inner child. So why the fuck you so angry? And righteous anger is the one thing, because I'm right. Yeah, I have a lot of righteous anger. Because y'all try to fuck with people that don't fuck with nobody. And I keep telling you, I am that karma. I am that lesson. And you fucked around and found out. Especially when someone don't got this far and they want to protect themselves in all means. I'm protected on all rims and all spaces. Divinely guided and protected. This is the beauty of all this shit, man. I don't clock a lot of y'all. Ain't no sense of sitting here trying to fucking like double back or even pretend you've been watching people. I am not them other guys. I am not them other dudes that need y'all acceptance and need y'all approval on no fucking platform, on no social media, on no nothing. This inspiration doesn't have to be televised. This shit gonna be felt generationally. This shit gonna be felt ancestrally. Some shit you just cannot buy. That was y'all world. The flow gonna happen regardless. I'm always protected and provided for, Ashe. Always taken care of. In y'all world, y'all think being taken care of, a man gotta go do this a certain way, burn himself out. Nah. In the universal law of things, where things have to be balanced, where things die away, when rest is called, that's the honoring and alignment of what men and women are called to do, whether gender related or not. Because gender aspect is feminine, masculine principle. So however people want to self-express themselves, I don't even have no control over that, for real. Shit, as long as they honoring who they believe to be and not harming nobody, what the fuck I need to do with that? Y'all got to start looking at people's hearts, bro. It ain't just their actions. Your heart is a detector. You'll start to realize, like, in so much love that you have, don't ever dim your love. Do you hear what I just said? Don't dim your love for nobody. What? When you go, Your love should go too. But at the same time, know that your love and your truth and your authenticity will have an effect. That's the beauty of it. This shit be so amazing, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Y'all been around people that that's why I don't even hang around a lot of people. They don't know how to have fun. I remember, like, even the shelter experience, bro. It's like I be called to go out there, and it's like, there's other people that's better at basketball than me, but I'm just so happen to be good at something, and it's just be wild how people almost like at that time, like they will have this animosity or something because I'm not supposed to just have fun or have just this natural competitive spirit, or just not even just a competitor. I started to just realize, like, I'm supposed to miss the shot. I'm not supposed to have fun. No, bro, stay away from people that take the fun out of shit. It just shows you, like, they have some deep abandonment shit going on. And I'm telling you from experience. That's why I started to realize, like, man, I started to ask source to reveal shit to me and realize why I need to get away from people, because you really will start to become like them in a way, or you will start to, like, realize, like, your life, it's not the word poverty, not it. It's like you will be almost reenacting their shit. Take it on their vices or whatever else, and you be like, man, you don't even know how to have fun. That's where I was getting to with my mom. It's like, I realized, like, certain ways, like when you start to really take back authority over your life and take control, not even control, I don't like to say the word control, take authority, take back authority and call your power back and stand in your truth and so forth, then you will realize, like, with that flow state and how you structure your life, this is what I'm realizing now. Like, the more, like, I realize, as it ain't even just a late bloomer, I had to come into this moment to structure my life the way I deserve. Because it wasn't just me doing, it was me and my inner child restructuring our life. Because what I realized was not structured, what was destroying or keeping me in an imbalanced state or keeping me unhappy with certain outcomes, is because my inner child had taken on a belief system that this what structure looked like. From the worldview, from society, from this person and that forth. So I realized, like, yo, now I can structure my life and interact and deal with who I want to. And when I go do that, I'm taking my inner child with me. So I have to take in consideration my inner child, the little boy now who knows who's who knows who to protect himself from, who knows who to guard himself from. Not out of fear, but fearlessness, but from a place of love. Because once you love yourself so much, you will fearlessly protect whatever it is that you love, or whatever it is that you honor and respect and so forth. I'm telling you, man, that's what I realized, like, not having a mother that was empathetic. It's not to say she wasn't sympathetic or she didn't have, like, the capacity to be empathy. I realized, like, a lot of shit was stripped from her. Her inner voice, whatever she went through. When you have someone continuously going through abusive patterns and what's familiar and so forth, they don't feel like they were heard. And most likely that inner voice is connected to a lot of women never feeling seen. And it's not so much sometimes dealing with who hasn't seen them. They don't see themselves, or they don't take time to sit with feeling seen and allowing that little girl inside of her to be seen. That's how deep this shit goes. Until you go to that person, that little boy and girl inside of you, and realize, like, they deserve to be seen too, then you will realize in your relationships, in your business, how you orchestrate and deal with people, you will realize that as you show up as an adult, a lot of you just been going through the world without allowing your inner child to be present. But it has been present the whole time. You just dimmed your light. That's why a lot of people are disrespected in certain places or have been treated a certain way and so forth, is because it's another familiar pattern of being silenced. It's another familiar pattern of child development and everything. Because they want you to be silent. That energy, that spirit that has been following your lineage wants you to continue to go through the same shit so you don't break that cycle. Because being fearless is also realize you don't have an issue with unemployed or standing up for yourself. All of these shit are just titles of the old world. Because once you start looking at the etymology of employed and all this other shit, engaged and all this other shit, you will realize like it's all dealing with energy. Every time you showed up to that establishment and you allowed yourself to be disrespected or belittled, listen, I'm being real. I'm not telling you to go the path our way, our path. But I know that when I'm in alignment, I'm always taken care of and my purpose flows with it. Every time I try to dim my light in a workplace or dealing with some people and try to allow myself to be like, oh gosh, like, no. Because when I was disrespected or some shit was happening and something was what I was end up doing, I was suppressing my self-expression. Being honest with myself first and then letting this person know. Whether that's through righteous anger or letting them know, like, that's not okay. Because y'all got to realize through interaction, you're either creating more karma or they're creating karma with you. So the lesson can be learned in that moment. What do you think is happening globally and structurally and inwardly and outwardly? What do you think is happening right now? It's because it ain't so much of the awakening, y'all call it that, but the divine insight and the alignment has a lot to do with what energy has been stagnant in your lineage or within you, blockages and so forth. So what is that calling you to do? To have fucking courage, to speak up, to speak your truth to yourself, to honor your emotions, to start where your mother and father couldn't. And what do you do around that? Then you begin to create a whole new world. Centered around that, rooted in that. Because that's what I'm doing. You know why a lot of people piss and they're not having access to me no more? It's because I've had to speak my truth. I had to walk away. I had to cut them off. It's because I had to cut off what was familiar to them, their world, assuming that I was going to stay the same and dim my light, when in reality, I had to protect my inner child. It's no difference than when you go through shit with partnership, relationship, marriages, and so forth. A lot of y'all in shit where your inner childs do not mesh. They do not even get along. So yeah, if you want some y'all thinking this, oh, I gotta make these people, bro, I'm giving you a code right now. I'm giving you something. All that marriage counseling shit, I'm not saying it's not supportive. But there are limitations when you're dealing with these structures in place. Things are shifting and changing. People want a deeper meaning of life. They want to really connect with themselves more. Because that's what spirituality, that's what life is here. That's what we're here to do. Once you get to connecting to yourself more and deeper, you'll start to realize, oh my God, this is what I've been keeping myself from. Once you start to see in relationships and marriages and all this other shit, oh my gosh. That's this person's belief system. Marriage is someone else's belief system. Some people argue me up and down, but when you look at the structures, when you look at the contracts, when you read that shit, I've read that shit. I've seen what people have been in and suffered from it when they want to get a divorce, or whatever the fuck you call that shit. They be already emotionally disconnected and already, for one, a lot of people their inner childs they're not even in union with themselves. Their inner childs are not even going to connect. So you can see before the marriage, even they sign that contract, which is a spiritual and physical thing, now they're binded with each other. Man, whole time, I can look at people in relationships and shit. Bro, I'm realizing that I was trauma bonded with motherfuckers. Because I was trauma bonded with myself. Because I thought that was normal, G. I thought that was structured. Then I started to realize sometimes you can have kids and be trauma bonded with somebody. Whole time you don't want to. It's to realize that you and your inner child been trauma bonding because your inner child had this belief system that trauma was normal. That was a structure of life. It's not. It's not. It hasn't been like that. Because a lot of us, the collective, man, most of society has PTSD, bro. Has some type of mental disorder, dis-ease, discomfort because of society, because what's been pushed on us. But now we get to a place where now we have PTG, post-traumatic growth, Now we can grow from this shit. We can build something positive out of this shit. And I don't mean just positive. I mean seeing from the negative. You remember I tell you negative is the feminine aspect. And then positive. All right, kids? Like I said, I don't got it all together, bro. I be getting this shit out because this shit helping me clear my energy, my spirit. This is where I come to. This is just why sometimes I don't even have to post this shit, but I'm being, man, listen. Folks are going to start to realize, like, man, all them trips and shit, motherfuckers be taking this shit and all like that. They be so hot. I don't know why I'm going to this way, but, bruh, them trips, a lot of them stuff, people be taking them trips, man, it ain't got shit to do with their inner child. It do, because a lot of people, the way they doll themselves up, the way they present themselves, men and women, depending on what spiritual vices they dealing with, bruh, whole time they be hyper vigilant. Now I might need to get on to some, but hypersexual, whole time they going on a trip, they may not, bro, whole time they can be operating from a whole energy of being hypersexual. I'm not saying they sexual energy not heightened or something, but it be some type of fated encounter or something that they have, they do, and I be realizing, like, dang, whole time they don't even realize, like, this could be coming from some type of sexual trauma. And when you look at the culture shit, how can we ignore this? How can y'all ignore the fact that we have groomed and breeded our daughters to be preyed on? When I look at social media, bro, I be like, fuck, bro. We want to talk about self-expression. I'm not telling women not to be who they are, but when I look at the depths of it, come on. How are you not asking a men in this society of unhealed men, of men who are not in tune, a majority of men, because there's one sister that say, like, how can y'all not expect men to prey on you? They're natural predators. And what I mean by that, you're hearing it from a man when I say they're natural predators, that don't, and let me say this, not all men, but men that are in tune. When I say this, I'm saying they're going to be natural predators if they're unfucking healed. If they're not in tune with themselves. If they don't have a respect or honor for feminine flow. If they're not in tune. I didn't say they're not going to have some attraction, because it's natural, because women, they pull in. We push. So that's where the push comes in, is a man operating from whatever belief system he has from his childhood development, or from what he has developed in society, what he believed women to be, and how he believed them to respond or react from whatever he comes off as, or whatever he comes with, and so forth. Because we're ruled by Mars, which is sex. And I'm telling you from experience of living in the shit. When you see, it's an innate thing with men. They're visual. And this is how you realize that a lot of your athletes, a lot of men in your life, a lot of whatever it is, what their base and foundation of what they have created everything on is from whatever feminine archetype, visual, feminine belief system, the flow of what they've structurally created in their life and built. And it'll always show up. It'll always reveal itself. Always. No matter how much they dress it up, no matter how much they do things. And it's so deep, because I don't give a fuck how many people, and all, man, music, all of it's all a part of the same structure, bro. I be sitting there, I'm like, damn, these niggas, these R&B, certain people, they talk about the same shit. You give me any certain artist, bro, and I'm just letting you know, I'm talking about the flow. The flow. Listen to their flow. I be looking at some of these artists, I'm like, bro, this is how they push. Remember, we push. This is how they push their message to the women. And they pull y'all ass right in. Y'all pull. So you got to realize, even behind some of these men, what type of women are surrounding them? What type of women are keeping them in their flow state? That shit matters. That shit matters. That matters. Spiritual women, that matters. Man, I supposed to address this shit because it's to protect y'all inner child. There are spiritual women that are sacred, that are targeted for a reason. And then y'all be thinking it's just the men that's targeting them. Boy, if you don't, I keep trying to tell y'all, if y'all, this matriarchal shit, you think there aren't women? You think there haven't been women that can see and know that her. Oh, she powerful. You think I got artists, I got people coming up in I'm not even gonna say their name, boy. If you think, when I look at certain women and I be like, oh my God, and it's women too. When I look at certain artists and shit, and I be like, oh, such and such is with such and such now, I don't be caring about that stuff. I automatically look at the energy. I be like, dang, they don't got sis. And you notice how a lot of them are never the same. Notice how a lot of artists, certain artists or people, because y'all don't even know they spiritual, like, practices, spiritual rank and stuff. It's like they literally are targeted. People are, y'all don't, when I say targeted, it's like people who have an anointing. That's why certain things are sent on people's path. If it can't get to you, they'll use someone to get to somebody close to you. That shit, hey. That's what's happening with a lot of people. I know a lot of people, when they hear this shit, like, yo. Whole time you talking about, oh, I had a dream of this person and this person. Bro. Y'all think that there ain't women behind them? A lot of these artists fueling what they're doing. Man, that shit's so deep, boy. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video, bro. That's why some people gotta move the way they move, man. I don't went on a whole nother thing. That's why some people gotta move the way they move. Cause they know some people weak in spirit. They know people ain't as strong, so they'll try to get close to somebody you know or connect to something, and it'll make you feel like you're not as powerful, as strong as you are. But this is for, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of my women, especially y'all that are coming online with a lot of things coming in tune. The more you get in tune with your inner child, a little girl and so forth, and you do that deeper healing, bro, not only do stuff become clear, it'll become clear on who certain people or certain status is too, that you got to protect yourself from in moving forward, because they too are going to want to stay relevant. And the only way they can stay relevant or in the limelight or in the spotlight is to be connected to you, because their time is up. Y'all don't realize how deep this shit is. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all better be very attentive to what's going on right now. There was a sister who was talking about new age celebrities. It's because this, when you look at the word celebrate, celebrities, these people took it upon themselves. And what they don't realize, in the age of the age of Aquarius, or Pluto being in Aquarius, it's exposing who's not for everybody. People that are coming up, new leaders, the new energy on the rise. It's people who are for everyone. And I don't mean just everyone in a sense to bring everyone along. I mean the connection of how all things are connected. So with that, this is why you're going to see so much of a collapse and fall of those who cannot hold their mask up any longer, or cannot hold that false sense of identity. That goes with celebrities. That goes with a lot of people. These people, I say celebrities, people, or status and so forth, it's because, nigga, they no different than what you used to be when you weren't being yourself. They're no different than someone in your family who want to act like they're a celebrity. I seen them too, who want to act like they got it all together and all like that. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No one does. They are no different. You be discerning as well. I say, you be just as discerning with people in your family as anybody else. Because them folks karmic as fuck too. They got lessons and vices too. I love what I do. I love this shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you. Because once you realize how out of touch people of certain status have been with their inner child, boy, you will stay far fuck away. And I don't mean just physically. You will guide and protect yourself spiritually. Because people know. And that's the thing, what people say, it's you that don't know. Now you know. You're like, oh, yeah, you got to guard that. You got to guard what? To whom is given, much is required. Much is required. I see a lot of people. I be sitting here looking at people who still want to try to push the narrative to make these people stay relevant. It's over. Finito. Adios. It's over, bro. This shit be so funny to me now, man. This shit be so funny to me. Cause I know there's some people I know want to know where I'm at. They want to know what I'm doing, so forth. It's the energy. It's the essence. People can no longer prey on you. People can no longer use you. Contaminate your ass. And contaminate what was connected to you. I'm telling you, when you go through transitions, I be starting to realize like how much I be having to cleanse myself of people, rid myself of people, realizing like they still going through their own stuff. Everybody don't choose to do the inner work. And that's what's got to be discerning moving forward. You have to be discerning moving forward with that. Can't say you didn't see the sign. Folks know it's over. They know their time up. I told folks, man, y'all gonna start seeing people in areas where you know, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing around here? Such and such do here, this, so yeah. And even with that, I still be discerning because I be like, whole time it was you all along. It just ill. I don't even want to shake hands with folks. I want folks to touch me. I want to touch my kids. No. A lot of them folks into adulthood, I keep trying to remind y'all, like, bro, they're just corrupted and tainted. Once y'all start seeing these people as children, you'll start to realize their behavior patterns are learned behavior patterns too. They were groomed young too. People were exposed so young too. That's why I say as you women start to do this deep cleansing and start to learn about yourself, girl, that comes with fucking protection. That comes with discernment. You want to be able to have fun and trust again, trust yourself and be protected and be in alignment. Come on, man. Not having your children around people. You're talking about coming from a world to be able to build a world and create a world, communities and so forth that you feel safe in again. You feel safe with you first. That's where it started. And then you be able to allow your children the same. Bro, that's not in these countries. That's not in these environments. Some people don't even, I'm be sitting here looking now. In community, they'll just people weird as fuck to me. You just let your kids go out and play. No type of parental guide or guardians around. Nothing in these weird ass places. I noticed that too in certain communities where it'll be, you know, people with, just because they have a lot of money. Man, these are people that have, oh my God. Y'all don't realize how people that have, they be are y'all realizing how disassociated society is? I told you the Aquarius moon America has when it was created. They're so disassociated. But this Pluto and Aquarius is going to recreate that and give a whole new blueprint to that. It was built on Cancerian energy, which again, as I've said before, how Cancer represent the home, but the home within. And then we got Aquarius moon, the Americas, which is going through its return, and it's literally the 200 and something years it's been in, it's collapsing. It's the end of a contract, spiritually and physically. So a lot of you stuff that you're seeing, the homeless represents that Cancerian energy, that homelessness. And it's not, y'all just think it's physical. People don't feel home within themselves. So that initiation is for them to come home to themselves. It's initiating them to create and reinvent what home is for them. That's the uniqueness and innovative aspect of Aquarius energy that considers everyone, the humanitarian, not the false empowerment of what, you know, the U.S. or the patriarchal has displayed. Telling you, bro, like, what? That Cancerian energy about the matriarch and so forth, it's highlighting that. The Jupiter in Cancer transit right now, it's highlighting the wounds, the inner wounds that we're all dealing with ancestrally, the home within inside, reconstructing that. That's what the inner child aspect is, the essence. It's reconstructing, it's rebuilding that, reconstructing that through ancestral things, through the lineage. That's where the rebellion comes from. That's where the destruction and all this chaos that people who represent in their charts, who y'all get so caught up in certain politicians, boy, in their natal chart, they carry so much Cancerian energy for a reason. Because they're here as a manifestation or a representation of what has been carried on and continued by men that look like them, and also how to neutralize that, how to make it greater than what it was before. And y'all be so against shit like that when it's the ones that are boomers or people before that who are trying to hold on to what that person energy is actually exposing. And through their exposure, is causing the chaos, the truth being told, that so many people who have lived a lie for so long of lying to themselves and not building foundations upon honesty and truth are the ones who cannot handle, when you handle something, handler, who cannot control it, what comes out of that person's mouth, what they're doing and so forth, because y'all are not bigger than the program, because y'all are not in that person's shoes, and because y'all are not appointed to do that. You, not even me. But I am very much aware. It's just some people are not supposed to come into that awareness. They're not supposed to accept it. They are a part of that opposition of energy that's supposed to, is just like Star Wars, that opposing energy. I keep telling y'all, like, when you look at feminine and masculine energies, energy has a play out in a way to where you're seeing one structure collapse and one structure being rebuilt. You're seeing structure being a masculine aspect, and you're seeing the ones who go against feminine flow are in the archetype. They're oblivious to why that structure collapsing, because you don't honor the flow. And the ones who are honoring the flow are going with the flow of life, and actually just by being themselves and by doing more by doing less, is actually creating the structures of the blueprint and hold the blueprint for what's to come. There you go. Have a great day. Peace and bliss and shalom.